Hello and welcome everyone to another mindfulness series. Lovely to see you all. Feel free to say hi. I'm Michael, normally in Brunswick in Melbourne, but today I'm in Mullumbimby. So feel free to punch your name in the chat, say where you are, say hello. Help me to feel like I'm not just talking to a metal box. Lovely to engage with you all. Yeah, it's I'm not in my office today, so normally I've got a little bit of a different setup. It's nice to have some actual life in the image. Hi everyone, we got some people in Melbourne, people in Brisbane. Everybody's jumping in the chat saying hi. All right, everybody. Today we are going to talk about breath work. So, that means a few different things. I'm kind of starting out talking a bit about yogic breathing, and then we're going to go into just a regular kind of breath-based meditation. And I'd like to start out by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands upon which we each stand today. Normally, I pay my respects to the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation down south, but today I am on the Arakwal land of the Bunjalung Nation up north. So I'd like to pay my respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging, as well as extending my respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who are present here today. So welcome everyone, and feel free to post questions in the chat as we go, interact with me, love interaction, and I hope that I can answer you as you go. That's me. I'm one of the psychotherapists and a coach here at Uprise. Feel free, if any of these things kind of interest you or you'd like to take any of them further, feel free to reach out to any of the coaches. We'd all love to support you in whatever way we can. And here we go. So I actually created this slide for the body scan meditation from last month. So I don't know if anyone was here last month, but I think this is really important, and I really want to continue to kind of engage with this. Physical sensation is tied to state of mind. Whenever we're experiencing stress, sadness, anger, or any other emotions, they can manifest in the body. I mean, even really positive, amazing feelings can manifest in the body, getting the flutters and getting that excitement. Tension, muscle aches, tightness, headaches, heartburn, all of these things can be manifestations of our emotional experience. And I think it's important to just kind of acknowledge this. And even in this moment, before we get into this, if we can just let the body settle, right? Noticing the shoulders, letting them sink down. Noticing the legs, letting them spread out, sprawl out in front of us. Noticing the forehead, getting into that natural Botox, it's just called relaxation. There we go. How does that feel, everyone? Nice to just settle into the body. And how easy was that, right? We just spent about 20 seconds remembering that sometimes stress is a physical manifestation. Tension exists in the body, and sometimes I feel like we get caught up in this idea that we need to think our way out of it. I'm stressed, what should I do? Oh, maybe actually I just need to breathe into it for a moment, let the tension roll out of the body, and then I can approach the situation more gracefully. So, feel free to do that throughout your day. 20 seconds here, 20 seconds there. The science. So in this moment, I'm talking specifically about yogic breathing. Stress can be associated with a decline in our performance as humans. So, there are a lot of things that happen physiologically when there's stress in the body, certain parts of the brain that shut down, certain parts of the brain that speed up. in the long run, we're missing out on a lot of things, including empathy with each other when we're coming from a stressed place. Due to widespread interest in, alternative ways of managing this, many studies have been performed using yogic breathing techniques. Several studies have shown these techniques and these practices to have a significant impact on depression and anxiety, which is pretty amazing. Still, it's very hard to quantify the specific potential for optimizing human performance. Of course, there are all these variables when we're being watched and measured and things like this. What we do see is that these techniques which have also been called technologies, utilize rhythmic breathing to guide us into a deep state of relaxation, or energize us, and they promote self-awareness, slowing down and listening to our voice. By using CAT scans and other medical equipment, we can also see that yogic breathing is physiologically stimulating. Studies are generally divided into focus on cognitive function or physical performance, with both showing a lot of success. Even cardiorespiratory issues, metabolism, exercise, just general whole body wellness going up the more we're doing these exercises. And hey, maybe that's just because we're getting more oxygen or using more parts of our lungs. So it's actually pretty amazing. And I'm wondering if anybody has any questions about that or their own experience with that. If anyone wants to just pipe in and say anything about that, feel free. Now's the moment. All right. So the first that I want to talk about here, the Shrika Pranayama. So this is an energizing breath. We're clearing the lungs as well as the sinus passageways. This is definitely very helpful with respiratory issues, just overall blocked sinuses, blocked bronchial tubes, bronchitis, all these types of things. And also kind of improving our awareness and our cognitive ability, right? Like we're getting more oxygen to the brain. Now, this exercise is definitely a proceed with care type of exercise. Normally we say practice on an empty stomach. Of course, it's at the time it is right now. I'm sure people have eaten. Be aware of, where you're at, how full you feel. Don't do this while pregnant. Stop or modify if you become dizzy. Do not practice without an experienced teacher if you have hypertension or if you experience panic attacks. If anybody on the other side of the screen experiences panic attacks, please do not join in this exercise. We'll be doing other exercises afterwards. So basically what this is an energizing breath. Some people say breath of fire, and we're getting a lot of oxygen and breathing out just a shallow, quick breath. So we're pulling a lot of oxygen into the body. This can be really good for, late night up working on a study project. It can be good for just the midday lull, at 2:30 when everything starts to fade, but it's too late to, have a stimulating drink or something like that. Or just if you don't feel like drinking cups of anxiety throughout your day and you would like to energize in a different way. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hold our hands like this. I'll just demonstrate first and then we can all join in. We're going to hold our hands like this. And what we're doing is we're taking a deep breath in and we're breathing out very quickly. It doesn't have to be quite as forceful as that, but it can be. So we're going to do that. Normally we do about 20 breaths and then pause and just take it in, relax, center. And then we do another 20 breaths, pause, relax, center, another 20 breaths, pause, relax, center, and that's it. So 3 rounds. Today, just to kind of experience the feeling, I'm just going to do 1 round of 15 breaths. And then we're just going to sit and let that settle in and see how the feeling is. And again, if you feel dizzy in any kind of way, just stop, put your hands on your knees and just breathe and let everything settle. All right. So for anyone who just joined, This exercise is not for anyone with hypertension or who experiences panic attacks. All right, so I'm gonna count us in. We're gonna start holding the hands closed right here, breathing in. 5, 10, 15. Might feel a little bit dizzy right now. That's okay. Just settle into the body. Allow everything to settle. Just give it a moment, taking a couple of deep, slow breaths. And as we start to relax, just noticing if that feels energizing, if that feels relaxing. Now that the dizziness kind of fades away, feeling clear and yet energized. So a part of what's happening here is we're really focusing on this exercise. So it's taking us out of our kind of all the day-to-day thoughts that are going through our brain, but it's also bringing a lot of oxygen into the body and giving us that rev. And of course, we all love our cups of anxiety, and that's just a little joke that I like to put out there. So does anyone have anything to say about that? Did people find that energizing? With a small taste of the bigger exercise. Also, if I was going to actually teach something like this, I do love to be in person so I can kind of see where people are at, and I can, acknowledge if, we're not trying to get to the point of hyperventilating. So explore this on your own if you're feeling like it made a difference and like it was interesting for you. And as we said, normally there's 3 sessions. So shifted the heavy head. All right, that's great. That's what we're looking for, right? Clearing out the cobwebs. Okay, come on, wake up. Let's do this. Yes. So now that we're feeling more alert, we are going to talk about Nadi, Shodana, Pranayama. So all of these exercises are different types of pranayama. Now, prana is life force, and a lot of the time it's associated with breath. Nadi are the sort of subtle energy channels that exist within the body, and this is, of course, all coming from Hindu philosophy and Ayurveda. So we're looking at more of a calming effect. But of course, when we're sitting up and we're present and we're doing this with our eyes open and we're here, we're going to be feeling calm but still present and alert. We're getting oxygen into the body. If we're doing this at the end of the day and we're kind of looking for a more calming effect, then keeping the eyes closed, keep bringing the energy inwards, this is going to create a more meditative and a more calming experience. So here we are connecting with the present, paying attention to what we're doing and letting go of stress and anxiety in this moment. We're not thinking about all the stressors of the day. Let's leave all that behind. Help with circulation and respiration. So there have been definitely a lot of studies around people with respiratory issues and circulatory issues that doing these types of breathing exercises, and maybe it's just because, like we said, filling up all the lung sacs because we're paying attention to our breathing. Attentive breathing is extremely helpful. So this exercise, we are going to, actually that's wrong, it feels confusing. All right. We are going to look like this with our hand, and these 2 fingers are going to be on the foot. Let's just do that first. So it's confusing for me to do it backwards. These 2 fingers go on the forehead like this, and then the thumb and the ring finger open up and they go on either nostril. So right here like this, hand on the forehead, and we're going to be plugging our nostrils one by one. First, I'm going to plug the right nostril, and I'm gonna push out all the air through my left nostril. So I'm gonna exhale first, pushing the air out of my lungs. And then I'm gonna fully inhale through that same nostril. Switching to the right side, I'm gonna fully exhale and then inhale again. So each time on each nostril, we are exhaling first and then inhaling. We're gonna do this just for a couple of rounds. You might notice that you have some sinus blockage. This is very good for, really good for that. And we are going to not be pushing too hard with this. We don't want to be forcing anything. We just kind of want to let it happen. Of course, for some of us, there's going to be more blockage than others, and it might require a little more pressure, but we're really trying to breathe naturally, though we are really filling up our lungs and, taking the air in, letting it out. So it's a bit of a slow present breath. All right, so starting out, fingers on the forehead. Now, if we're using the right hand, the thumb is closing the right nostril. We're gonna let the air out and inhale. Slight pause at the top, change, plugging the left nostril, and inhale. Change, exhale. Inhale, change, exhale. Inhale, change, exhale. Inhale, change sides, exhale. Try at your own pace for about 3 breaths. Sorry, that's 3 either side. And let's do one last one together. So, whichever side you're on, exhale, inhale, change, exhale. One last big inhale. So can we see how this is, like, in a way, calming and yet energizing? Like, if we remain present, if we're sitting upright, if we're kind of getting oxygen, not quite so energizing as the other exercise, but just it's an alert calmness. If one side is more comfortable breathing, well, often whatever side we sleep on, something like that, it ends up being more blocked. And this exercise is actually very good for that. So if you wake up in the morning and you do this exercise first thing, generally you would do, let's say, a period of 3 minutes or 20 breaths, and then pause for about a minute, 3 minute. We're generally doing about 3 sets. Maybe that means 1 minute on, 30 seconds off for you. Maybe that means 3 minutes on and 1 minute off for you. So whatever feels right. We don't have to make this a big thing. It can be 5 minutes or something like that. And it helps a lot with that. I definitely can't say anything about actual medical issues that exist inside the nose. Some people do have a smaller passageway or something like that, but it's definitely likely that you just sleep on that side. I experience that often for sure. All right, so how's everybody going? Do we feel calm and present yet energized? I hope so, and I hope that, people kinda are finding these useful and that maybe this is something that can be incorporated into your life a little bit. As we said earlier, a lot of studies have been done. These are very helpful, and there are others as well. So now that we've kind of prepped ourselves, and a lot of the time that Nadi Shodana is done as I think it's Nadi Shodana. Anyways, a lot of the time that is done as a prep for meditation. So we would be kind of clearing our passageways, clearing our mind, building ourselves up to a moment where we're actually going to really slow down and just allow the attention to go inward more. This is the shut down the eyes, attending to the breath, and oftentimes that can mean attending to the senses. Today, we're really going to sit with the breath. And during this exercise, you may have thoughts coming and going. You will likely have thoughts coming and going. That's completely normal. You know, we're not expected to be able to just shut our brains off. So let's avoid trying to chase those thoughts away. All of that kind of, I want to push this away. I want to, I should be able to do this. Oh, I'm no good at this because I keep thinking. Just let's drop all that stuff, right? Thoughts come and go. That's natural. Just gonna let them be and let them continue along on their merry way while we continue to stay focused on our breath. So, whatever you need to do to be in a comfortable position. And again, just letting your shoulders fall down and back, letting your face relax. And we're just gonna start by noticing what it feels like as the air enters the nostrils and exits the nostrils. Just feeling, maybe there's a little tickle. Maybe the air feels cooler on the way in, warmer on the way out. Just continuing to notice how the air feels as it enters into the nostrils and exits. We are not doing a forced breath, a labored breath, or ujjayi breathing, which is when we close the throat. We're just allowing a natural breath, but intentional. And you can also notice the effect that the breath has on the shoulders, rising and falling. Just focusing on your shoulders, rising and falling, in and out. The effect of the breath on the body. And the lungs expanding and contracting. Focusing on the lungs, just noticing expansion and contraction, in and out. You're experiencing the effects of the breath on the body. Breathing a little deeper into the abdomen, noticing the abdomen expanding and contracting. Now, choosing one of these areas that you kind of connect with the most. Maybe it's the lungs, maybe it's the nostrils. Just sitting with that, continuing to breathe in and out. And just noticing the effects of the breath on the body. Thoughts come and go, just allow them to pass. Not needing to reject them or latch onto them. Feeling the breath entering the body and exiting the body. Focusing on the body part that stands out to you the most. In and out. Now, see if you can just start to connect with the rhythmic breath itself. Not necessarily having to focus on a specific body part. Just noticing the breath coming in and out. Almost like we're present with the whole body experience. Breath in and out. Maybe for you it's listening to your breath. You can just subtly hear the breath as you exhale and inhale. I'm just going to rest there for a moment. I'm going to quieten down for about 1 minute. And everyone's going to individually just stick with your breath. And continuing to stick with the breath. Just going to bring ourselves back into our surroundings by also listening. So we're still noticing the breath. We're taking in any sounds in our surroundings. Slowly becoming aware of our space. And maybe the outside, car or bird, on the refrigerator. Just listening while still attending to the breath. And then opening the eyes, taking in your surroundings. Can you be here like you're here for the first time? Freshly here in this present moment. Taking things in more for their abstract qualities. Instead of seeing a couch, I see texture and color. Just taking it all in, being really present in this moment. And after connecting with our breath and connecting with our surroundings, we feel a little more grounded as we tackle the rest of our day. There are some mindfulness modules on the Uprise app that you all have access to. Coaching is a free resource for a lot of people, so use your sessions that's offered to you. Take advantage of them. Feel free to reach out. If there are any questions, please jump in the chat. You can see that our gracious host, Teresa, has left a feedback form. We'd love to hear any feedback, and we really appreciate you all coming today. I hope you're feeling super grounded as you step into the rest of your day. And remember, this doesn't have to be a big thing, right? Like, you don't have to set aside a half an hour and go sit in a dark room and light some incense. You know, we're not monks living in a monastery, and we might not all have space for that. If you do, that's great. But if you don't, you know, take 20 seconds in the day to just check in with your body, notice where you're at. Try some of these breathing exercises. We can fit them into our day without having to completely change everything. So yeah, hopefully everyone has gained something from this. Have a lovely time. And yes, there will be a recording that will come through. So hopefully you will get to access it then. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.